Hi booktube, this is Kelly. Thank you so much for watching my channel, Books I'm Not Reading. I'm here today with Old Blue from Where the Wild Things Are. That's not officially his name in the picture book, but that's our name for him. If you've ever watched my husband's channel, Old Blue's Chapter and Verse, this is Old Blue. He's got his own set of frozen socks on. Anyway, but I thought he should be part of this video because today I am doing the Picture This book tag, which is part of the Picture This Readathon hosted by Shelley Swearingen and Jack at Spread Book Joy, who created this tag. I think the thing that's really great about this tag is that even though the questions, the prompts, come from children's books, the questions don't necessarily relate to picture books. So, question number 1, Love You Forever by Robert Munsch. Name a book you imagine you'll love forever. Wow, you guys, there's so many books, and some of them you have seen so many times on my channel. Some of you are new, so that's good. So of course we have Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, the Betsy Tacy Treasury by Maud Hart Lovelace, which is definitely longer than these 4 little books in here. The Pickwick Papers, and most recently, my new favorite, Dombey and Son by Charles Dickens, which I read in March. So those are some of my books that I think I will love forever. Question 2, Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day by Judith Viorst. Read this one a lot as a kid. I think my parents still have our copy of it. Which books or comforting things do you turn to when you are having a bad day? I don't really turn to books, actually, when I'm having a bad day. I really need to talk to someone, so sometimes that's some of you. And you get a Voxer message from me, or I'll look through some comments, and that is really helpful and encouraging most of the time. So yeah, I think I turn to booktube. I think that's typically where I go at this point in life. Question number 3, The Very Hungry Caterpillar by Eric Carle. Which books, series, or character sparked your hunger for reading? It's really hard to pinpoint one particular book. I remember making an audio book of One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish by Dr. Seuss when I was growing up. I lived in a house where there were just books everywhere. My grandmother's house was filled with books, and there was no real, there was no restricted section. Okay, so if you could grab the book, then you were more than welcome to read it. I tried to read The Prophet pretty early on, and my dad was just like, I couldn't even get through that book. Like, are you gonna be able to get through that book? And I didn't end up getting through that book, but I do have a copy of it now, so maybe one of these days. Question number 4, Green Eggs and Ham by Dr. Seuss. What's the most unusual book you have ever read? I don't have a copy of this. I put in a purchase request at the library for it when I knew it was coming out, and so I got to be the first person to read it. It is S by Doug Dorse and J.J. Abrams. It is a book within a book, and then there's ephemera in that book. And it was very challenging to figure out where to put your attention, like where to focus your attention on. So it was a very strange reading experience. I do feel like the ephemera was meant to be in certain places in the book. Unfortunately, it just doesn't work out really well for a library. So I think now at this point they have like an envelope that's part of the book with the ephemera in it, but I'm sure a lot of the ephemera is gone, which is unfortunate. But it's a very strange book. If you've read it, I'd love to hear what you think of it down below in the comment section. Question number 5, Where the Wild Things Are by Maurice Sendak. You're up, Old Blue. What is your favorite book featuring the natural world? And I read this a couple years ago for Springathon. This is Rising from the Plains by John McPhee. And this is about Wyoming. This is about the place that I live and what has happened over time to the geology, in the geology, or I don't know exactly how to say it, the geology, I guess, of the place that I live. And so they go to a variety of places around the state, but it's fascinating. I love where I live, although it's not without its flaws, but it is a really, really beautiful place. I'm not sure if you've never been to Wyoming, I'm not sure that this would be an interesting reading experience, but I was just instantly immersed in the book. Great writing. John McPhee is just an incredible writer. Question number 6, Goodnight Moon by Margaret Wise Brown. I still remember when I worked for Barnes & Noble, a woman coming up to me in the children's section and asking for a bedtime book that was something other than Goodnight Moon, because this poor woman had the whole thing memorized and she was just sick of it. There are a lot of great bedtime picture books out there, but so do you read at bedtime? Yes, I do. I typically read every night before I go to sleep. Do you read to someone else at bedtime? Nope, I don't read anyone else. Did anyone ever read to you at bedtime? Yes. And actually this is this is still happening. Oh, sorry, Old Blue. So Jason often reads to me as I'm trying to fall asleep. Now, it helps if he's reading something that I'm not interested in or something I've already read. Right now, what he's reading to me is Secondhand Time, The Last of the Soviets by Svetlana Alexievich. I'm so sorry. I apologize if I said that wrong. She's won the Nobel Prize in literature. She wrote Voices from Chernobyl, which some of you may be familiar with. Anyway, this book is just, oh, it's so sad and just, yeah, I mean, some of the stories just really, I get caught up in, and so like Jason like stops reading and I like turn my head over and I'm like, keep going, and he's like, no, that's the last of that particular story, and I'm just like, it stops there. But anyway, it's a really, really interesting book, and yeah, so one of these days I may have to read it, because like I said, I'm drifting off. I can get caught up in it though, and then it does not work as bedtime reading, unfortunately. So question number 7, Guess How Much I Love You by Sam McBratney. Who had the biggest influence on you as a reader? Wow. There have been a lot of people in my life who have nudged me along, encouraged me, challenged me. So yes, to name, I mean, my parents, like I said, let me read whatever I wanted. My grandmother, I mean, in addition, like we would go to this wonderful independent bookstore, it's not there anymore, where she lived, and I could get whatever I wanted, but then there was also this like, well, have you read this? And if I said no, like she would just add it to the stack. So I know that's how I ended up with Oh Pioneers and probably My Antonia by Willa Cather. Yeah, there were a lot of books that she just felt like, I can't believe you haven't read this. So she was really great at that. And yeah, so I've had a lot of people, teachers, my parents, professors, and and friends. Jason Jason and I have known each other since 1999, and he was an English major, and yeah, I still turn to him to ask him questions about Shakespeare and poetry, and we have a lot of discussions about books and movies in our house. Last question, The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein. Which book or set of books would you give to an emerging reader, or which book have you given as a gift more than once? So just recently, one of my nieces had a baby, and I just sent her this huge box full of children's books that we had and we were willing to let go of, because I want her child to be a reader. But some of my favorite children's books, Make Way for Ducklings. This one I know we have purchased more than once. The Stinky Cheese Man and Other Fairly Stupid Tales by John, is it Juska and Lane Smith? This is fantastic book. Anyone would enjoy this, adult or child. And oh my gosh, Bear Snores On by Karma Wilson. I love this book so much. If for some reason you ever just suddenly find yourself having to read a book out loud to a bunch of kids, this is the best book. You can get them really into the story, and everybody's saying, and the bear snores on. It's so much fun. So I really love this book. I met Karma Wilson. She was so gracious and so kind, and yeah, she did a book signing at our bookstore, and she was just like, do you think anyone will be here? And he was just like, yes I do. So this is one I would highly recommend. Okay, so I'm gonna tag some people, and these are people who are newer subscribers to my channel who have maybe left one comment or something like that, but we haven't engaged very much yet. So I would really love to hear your answers to these questions and just get to know you a little bit better. So I'm gonna tag Lovely Day with Holly, Shelf Centered, Broken Little Spine, Bookishly, Shelly, Bookishly Shell. You'll have to help me with that one. Danny's Book World. I would love to hear from you, Danny. Vadiana Silver Scribe. And I know you left a comment. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, would love to see your version of this tag. And finally, just on a wild crapshoot, I'm going to tag Radwa at the Reading Unicorn, because even if you're not familiar with any of these children's picture books, you can still answer the questions. So, all right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I love to hear from people in the comment section. If you don't feel comfortable leaving a comment, you can leave an emoji. You can give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed, I hope you'll think about joining me on my bookish journey. Remember to be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and booktube, I will talk to you soon. Bye.